Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is She's Gotta Have It, Season 1, Episode 10, and the name of this episode is Nola's Chance, 3 the Hard Way, and this is the season finale. Yo, this season finale was pretty interesting, because I liked the way how they played it out. It was kind of, confusing, but if you've been following the whole show, it made perfect sense as to why she did this. So we see this episode. She decides that to kind of set it up, she couldn't go away with her family because Rockaletta Moss wouldn't let her off of work. So she decided to have Thanksgiving, at home. So we see that she's making all this food. She's making her turkey, her cranberries, her collard greens. She's hooking it up in the kitchen. But the question is, who is she inviting over? Pretty much, so then we actually see that while she's cooking and all of that, they're playing Be Real Black by Roberta Flack and Donny Hathaway. I love that song. And, the two of them just made beautiful duets together. So the first person that shows up is Mars. Mars actually brings her in a cheesecake. Diddy is actually known to go to that spot too up in Brooklyn. I forgot the name of it. I think it's called Jude's, but I could be wrong. If I am, correct me in the comments. Let me know that spot. So if I'm ever up in Brooklyn, I'm going there to get me a cheesecake. That's the same spot that Diddy made them on making the band. He made them walk all the way to that spot to get some cheesecake. So they make the best cheesecakes in Brooklyn. So I need to find out where that spot is at. Well, Mars had brought her some cheesecake, and he also brought her favorite Prince album, which is Around the World in a Day, which actually has the track Raspberry Parade. So Mars is like, well, hey, it's Thanksgiving, can we get a little quickie, before we decide to eat and everything? And then all of a sudden we hear the buzzer goes off again, and she's like, so pretty much we see that she asks Mars, can you get the door? So Mars goes to the door, and it's Jamie. And Jamie's there with a bottle of wine. So immediately Mars thinks that he's like a delivery guy. It's like, oh, bottle of wine, that's what's up. So he kind of like puts money in his pocket and takes the bottle of wine. But then, Jamie pushes his way in. She's like, Nola, who's this? And she's like, well, Jamie, this is Mars. Mars, this is Jamie. Yeah, you guys should just get acquainted and get to know each other. And I'm like, Nola, you messy as hell. But I was living for it. Then we get the third person, hello, mademoiselle. It's damn Greer. So, and Greer comes with flowers. And he came in there with the most avant-garde wearing outfit I have ever seen. This fool was purple head to toe. He had like this, very like he had like this really like, I mean, it's pretty much very, European fashion, but definitely also suspect. So I'm starting to think, Greer may be also playing for the other team as well. But if he was, that would actually work for Greer's character, that he's bisexual. But anyway, but he came up in there wearing all purple, and we saw her also setting up the dinner table and all that, and her cooking, earlier before all the men showed up. So she literally invited all 3 men to Thanksgiving dinner. And he came in there like, what the hell is this? What the hell did I just walk into? Because here they are thinking they was just going to have a private dinner with Nola. It turns out they there with they pretty much are there with, her other men. So all 3 guys are at one, pretty much are at one, are pretty much all in the same room. I'm sorry, I'm kind of stumbling. So she pretty much says, you all guys get acquainted. I'm gonna get dressed. So she steps off, and then all of a sudden they all start to remember. Oh, I remember. Oh, you were at the art show. Then we get a clip All three of them are standing right next to each other, and then we see Nola coming back, looking right in the camera, like, oh shit, look what I done done. Now all three men are in the same space. And it was during the art show, and she was like freaking out or whatever. And then all of a sudden, all three was like, oh, hell no. So they now know the other guy that Nola was talking to. So we pretty much see the dinner get started. She pretty much, Jamie starts, by saying grace, and he says he's thankful for grace, peace, truth, and love, and all of that. And and Mars is crazy because Mars started eating before even saying grace. Mars is like, I'm a grub, but Jamie says what he has to say, and then Mars is about to go eat again. She's like, Greer. So Greer says something. He's like, and this fool, this stuck up motherfucker, says out his mouth, I am so grateful that my face has never been punched, scratched, or hurt, or scarred in any way, shape, or form. I am so grateful. I'm like, if you don't get your vain ass somewhere, he is a damn mess. Like, he is so full of himself, it's ridiculous. But she likes the spontaneity of him, and that's what she's attracted to. And then she asks Mars to say something, and Mars pretty much, says he thanks his sister Lourdes for not kicking him out of her Fort Greene apartment, and he says, I thank God for all my many skills in the world of hip hop, and he thanks his dad who was black. He actually talked about his father in a few episodes ago, and then he says his mom who's Puerto Rican. So he says he thanks his family, but then he also says, I also want to thank the hostess with the mostest, my girl, Miss Nola Darling. Because I'm like, Mars, I have to say, out of all three men, I think Mars will be the perfect guy for her. Because, but the thing is, all three of them got their own thing going on, but I think the one that I think is the most compatible with her is Mars, because Mars always puts a smile on her face, even when she's mad and going through her crap. She can't stay mad at him for long. Because even though, like, in the last episode, she was mad as fuck that he told Clorinda about her art campaign, her art street campaign, that is, but it's like the next day, he was there with her when her and Papa got arrested. So, the funny thing about it, she can be mad at him, but the next day it's over. It's like she'll stay mad at Jamie for a minute, because Jamie be doing a lot. Greer too. Like, the two of them, she'll be mad for a minute with them, but with Mars, her madness never lasts. So, she also, gives thanks as well, and they eat, and if anything, it also kind of the question it was also going on in my mind that, Jamie, don't you got a wife and kid? What the fuck you doing eating Thanksgiving with Nola? What the hell went down? I'm going to get to that, but that definitely registered in my mind when I first saw this thing, like, what the hell you doing there? Like, you mean to tell me that Virgil and Cheryl ain't looking for your ass? I'm just saying. So during the dinner, we kind of see that there is some tension there between the guys. Mars starts talking about, him, meeting Barack Obama, and that he was the one telling him that he should be the one to run for president. This is before he said that, Barack Obama wouldn't have ran for president if I didn't tell him so. And Greer's saying, like, don't you think it's blasphemous to tell lies at the Thanksgiving table? And and then they kind of go back and forth. And it gets to a point where, they start going back and forth with each other, and he kind of says that, look, you the one up in here with fishnet stockings for sleeves. Because he had, like, this really avant-garde looking shirt, like, pretty much like really artsy. And so when he kind of went for him, I was just like, Bart is funny as shit. And then we also see that then it gets to a point where Jamie kind of gets into it too. He's like, look, this is Thanksgiving, so won't we just shut up and eat? And then Mark's like, who you telling to shut up? And then Gwen's like, Jamie's like, you want to take this outside? And Mark's like, yeah, we can go outside. My knuckles is ready. Let's get it. And then Noah's like, that ain't happening. Because one thing she did before they prayed, she says that, look, anybody who wants to leave, you can leave right now because it's only going to be love in this room. So if anybody got a problem, you can leave. None of them left. But yet there was still tension between them and it started to come out a little bit. And pretty much it gets to the point where they can't take it anymore and they're like, okay, why are we all here? And she's like, and she pretty much tells them that, look, you all of you think you really know me, but you really don't. All of you have called me a freak. I hate that word because it's very dismissive and degrading. She's saying that, look, I'm just an abnormal person, and you all would ask me about the other guy. Well, there's the other guy, and there's the other guy. Now you all know who's who. And then all of a sudden, Grim was like, okay, we get that now, but what kind of woman? And she's like, what kind of woman acts like a man? They all shut up at that point because I'm like, yeah, we do that shit too. I mean, as a matter of fact, I've met some cats who did shit like that, where they had like their ex-girlfriends all in one space. So she, pretty much being an individual and being determined, did the same. And I was just thinking like, wow, this is crazy. So we then see that she goes to, do the dishes after dinner. And we see at first, Greer's the first one that goes in there. And he was saying that, oh no, hands like these should never have to wash dishes. But she says that, no, I don't mind doing dishes. Won't you go sit down? Won't you go out there and relax? So he leaves. And then Mars comes in. And pretty much, Mars is like, he pretty much wants to help her with the dishes, and then Nola was like, rule number 68, my guests do not wash dishes. And then Mars was like, rule number 69, you got too many rules. So then all of a sudden Jamie comes in, and then Mars was like, good luck, bruh, because she just shut his ass down. So Jamie goes in there, and Jamie starts selling that same old shit, pretty much telling her that he wants to get an apartment for her where they both can be together and all of that. And then she checked his ass, and she was like, well, what's going to happen if Cheryl decides to cancel the check again? You can't keep putting yourself through this. You can't keep doing this to yourself. But he really is in love with her. But, dude, you got a whole family. And in this scene, we find out how he was able to come there for Thanksgiving was that him and Cheryl got in an argument, and she told him to get out of the house. So he left and came to Nola's. Because I was just like wondering, how the hell was he there for Thanksgiving? Like, don't you got a family? But him and Cheryl got into it. I'm thinking sometimes he intentionally, him and Cheryl butt heads so he can leave and go be with Nola. But then he starts trying to be possessive yet again by saying he wants to buy her an apartment and that it could be a place it could be a place just for the two of them. And she's like, no, I'm independent. That's why I gave you back the money. I thank you, but I'm an independent woman. I got the grant. You know, things are picking up for me, and everything's good. So, so afterwards, so pretty much after that, when she pretty much lets him know that, you know, I am who I am, and you're not calling the show, all of a sudden he tries to lean in and kiss her, and she pretty much stops it and goes back out there, and she pretty much decides to light a joint. And she pretty much smokes her joint openly in front of them. You know, she pretty much, you know, is passing it to him. But then she tells them that she has, you know, something to show them. It's her latest work of art. So she goes and pulls off the cover off of the piece, and it's a piece called The Three-Headed Monster, and it's all three men fully naked with their Johnsons, and each Johnson is different, you know. And the biggest one is Greer. So as soon as Greer saw his, Greer's like, I'm like, Greer's a damn mess. And we see that both of them are kind of like, they are all pretty much like in shock that she would do this, you know. But you know, we see that, you know, Greer in his mind is thinking like, yeah, that's right, I'm the biggest member of the crew. And then Jamie's like, it don't matter, but I know how to work mine, you know, because it's going to be a stone cold groove, my man. And I'm like, why the hell you sound like a damn 70s exploitation, you know, action star or some shit. Jamie be having that old man syndrome. Is hilarious. But Jamie's 40, but he act like he's 60 sometimes. It's crazy. And then Mars is like, yeah, I may have the smallest, but it ain't. But my dad said it's not about what you got. It's not about what you got. It's how you use it. And I know how to use mine. I'm like, yeah, he does, because he had Nola. He was tearing Nola up the time when they was doing it, and Jamie was trying to call, and she wasn't answering that phone because Mars was wearing her out. So if anything, what ends up happening, you can definitely see the tensions in the room again. You know, Greer was like, you know what, I think I've had enough of this shit. I'm about to leave. So before he can even get out the door, she puts on the Prince album that Mars gave her, and they play Raspberry Beret. And all three of them, along with Nola, end up dancing with each other. And it was real cool, though, because it was also paying homage to Prince. And, you know, they pretty much was dancing and everything. And then next thing you know, we see all of them collapse on the bed. And Spike Lee pretty much puts out the definition of the itis. You know, when you eat a lot of carbohydrates and a lot of meat, it's enough to make you want to go to sleep. So we see all of them end up going to sleep, but then all of them ended up leaving, and Nola was by herself. And then the episode ends that she gets another visitor. Guess who it is? Opal. Opal lets her know that Skylar's father's in town, and she's spending the night with him, and I got a bottle of champagne. I want to know if I can come up. So at first, Nola was hesitant, but she lets her in. And then all of a sudden, we see it ends with Opal and Nola. And she's like, oh, Nola, darling. So I'm thinking, what's going to happen there? Because her and Opal have a totally different connection than she does with the three men. So I'm wondering, is this mean that her and Opal are going to give it another try? Or is this just going to be, you know, a kissing session? Because we saw where she pretty much says that, look, if the men want to deal with me, they're going to have to do it on my terms, because I'm nobody's property, I'm nobody's possession, and I'm just an abnormal person, and I'm just going to be me. So we actually see this whole episode was her taking what Dr. Jameson was telling her, that she needs to claim her own individuality, and she needs to just let everything out. no longer playing, this side to that side, no longer changing face, just put everything out on the table, which is what she did. So this was a really good episode, and I actually get it, like why she would bite all three men. It was her way of coming clean that, hey, this is what it is. I am who I am. Either take it or leave it. And we actually saw them men ain't going nowhere, so they just going to have to take it for what it is. So that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow me on all of my social platforms. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I definitely look forward to season 2 of She's Gotta Have It. I really love this show. Shout out to Spike Lee. Shout out to the cast and crew. You guys delivered a great piece of work, and I definitely look forward to season 2. So until then, everybody, take care.